agents and items that kill cancer stem cells. This is very important.
Yeah.
Very, very important. Cancer stem cells, colon cancer, at the base of the crypt is a normal stem cell, normally speaking. And if those normal stem cells become malignant for whatever reason, then you're almost certainly dealing with a cancer stem cell. Cancer stem cell is highly resistant to treatment, to standard treatment. So there are big drug companies involved in clinical trials of agents to try to get FDA approval for the agent to kill cancer stem cells. So I was looking at a paper that contained a list of these agents. At the top,
wait, before you say the list, I want to just establish something for folks that don't understand why this matters. It's because many, many cancer drugs and treatments will shrink a tumor, but they don't kill the cancer stem cells, which are only, less than 10% of a tumor. Sometimes they're only 1% of a tumor. And so it looks like, whoa, this treatment totally shrunk my tumor by 90%. Like, wow, it's working. Let's go to Chili's and celebrate, happy hour. And the reality is like, no, those stem cells are now more aggressive. They're pissed off. And they're resistant, and they're going to come raging back because the treatment not only didn't kill them but made them more aggressive, right? So the whole point is like you got to kill the stem cells,
right? And drug companies have been racking their collective brains trying to come up with drugs to kill cancer stem cells. So here's the funny thing: I was looking at this list yesterday of candidate drugs, substances to kill cancer stem cells. So the top of the list was a drug called Nexavar. That interested me because I didn't know, but most of these other drugs are just in development. Nexavar is actually an approved drug for certain kinds of cancer, now being clinical trialed specifically to kill cancer stem cells, right? The bottom of the list was curcumin, the yellow natural coloring agent in turmeric, right? So the cost of a good quality curcumin in what probably would be an effective amount would be about 60 cents a day, right? Literally, right? To get, in that realm. Or if you took it for a year, $250. Look this up, and you can look this up at drugs.com or any other website. The cost of Nexavar currently for its indications is over $20,000 a month. If you took that, simple math, if you took that for a year, you're looking at $250,000 as opposed to $250. That's sort of the gulf between the generic, natural, non-toxic, stuff that you could buy at a health food store or a food co-op versus something that you only can get through the machinery of big pharma pumping this out. And then, of course, with all the buzz around, now we found something to kill cancer stem cells, blah, blah, blah. But they've known for 10 years that curcumin and other natural agents kill cancer stem cells. They're actually the only thing pretty much that do. There are probably about 20 different items that kill cancer stem cells that are known in the laboratory and somewhat also in the clinic. And of those, 10 of them are food items, food derivatives. So
what else?
So resveratrol from red grape skins, genistein from soybeans, sulforaphane from broccoli and broccoli sprouts. I mentioned turmeric from curcumin from turmeric, and EGCG from green tea.
Thymosinone from black seed.
Yeah, but the big five are in terms of certainly the quantity of research. There's about 10,000 journal articles that cover those big five.
Yeah.
And then there are other minor ones, like maybe they're not so minor, but they're not as well researched. Like, for instance, cinnamon, cardamom, pepper, and by the way, how interesting, isn't it, that those things are sort of like traditional things in golden milk in the Ayurvedic formula. and also you could put those in smoothies. There's a lot you can do with those, whether you take them as foods or you take them as supplement. But there's, aside from the holistically oriented doctors who are not that common in the cancer field, or naturopathic oncologists, who among your viewers was ever told this by a conventional oncologist? They are either completely unaware.
Zero. The number is zero.
Absolutely. And then there were a few, heroes who are oncologists or doctors mainly treating cancer who are aware of this. But what happens is, if you push too hard, if you're an oncologist and you push too hard on this, you get a reputation as a weirdo. You get a reputation not as a sound person who was going to move up the ranks of American Society for Clinical Oncology and of your department, but as like people are looking at you askance, like, what's wrong with that guy or that woman that they're suddenly so interested in garlic or ginger or green tea. And we have testimony from 2 top doctors in England who said that they're big enthusiasts for ginger. Ginger is another one that kills cancer stem cells. But they are aware of the fact that, it's embarrassing. It's a deep embarrassment to them and to their colleagues if they admit this sort of fascination with something that's not mainstream.